Welcome back to the second episode of Creepy October. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been busy with college and work. So, as a special treat, I will be reading 3 or 4 creepypastas this week. 2 today, and the other 1 or 2 will come sometime this week, so be patient. Today we are going to be looking at the 2 stories, PSN Hell and Journey to Death, and the links will be in the description below if you want to read these for yourself. Let us start with our first creepypasta of the day, PSN Hell. I was playing my PS3 and I was bored with playing the game that I had gotten the previous Christmas. So I decided to go to my local game store and buy a voucher for PSN. I put the usual £10 on the voucher like I usually do, and I came home and put the money on my online wallet. Then after entering the code for the money, I decided that I wanted to go through all the games to see what I could afford. I see the normal Sonic games, Crash Bandicoot, and even one of my favorites, Abby's Odyssey. I purchased Abby's Odyssey, and whilst that downloading, I came across a section that I haven't ever seen before. Then again, maybe the PlayStation Store had added it recently. I hadn't really had any reason to go on since I don't really like playing demo games. Well, if you get PlayStation Plus, you can get a free game every week on Tuesday. I think this week's was Poker, where you can have Brock Sampson in it. Anyways, this section was called Happy Games, and it only had one game. It was titled Dreamland, and the funny part about it, this game only cost me £1, so I purchased it. After I read the information, it simply said have fun. I didn't think much of it. Going by the title, I just assumed it was a dream emulator. But it said it was going to take ages to download, so I played Abby's Odyssey since that had already downloaded. And I got so much into the game that I forgot about the other game that I had downloaded. By the way, when you download games off PSN, when you go off to play another game, sometimes the game that you're downloading won't continue to download unless you stop playing the game. So I don't think the game would have finished. I turned off my console and went to bed. Okay, now the game really didn't finish downloading. And I had the most wonderful dream where I was playing my old game on the original PS1. I woke up the next morning eager to play my game, and when I turned the console back on, sorry I messed up that line, but I'm not going to go back and fix it because I'm lazy. I had messages, but they were from a gamer name I hadn't even had on my friends list. Well, it's kind of because other people on PSN can message you when they're not even on your friends list. Ooh. And the gamer tag was A.B.E.E.S.D.E.A.D.666. Cliche for these creepy pastas having 666. It's Abby's dead 666, and the message was, "You did this," with dots in between each letter, and it was creepy, I guess. No, it wasn't. I replied but got no answer. I remember the Dreamland game, and I started to play it. It started off so colorful, and I was somehow playing Abby's Odyssey again. So I reset and tried again, but it still kept going on the same thing. So instead, I just played the game. I went through the stages as I normally would, and I noticed something strange. It was like I had seen it before, but thought nothing of it. Yeah, here's the problem with these creepypastas. You know, the stupid gamer who thinks there's something strange, and then they keep on playing, and then they die, or it scars them for life, or a plushie comes out of the TV screen and kills you. Just no. All of a sudden, Abby just collapsed. I remembered that the night before, I got scared and deleted the game and the save files, everything from the game, and I just forgot about it. Then went to sleep that night, and I dreamed that I had been playing the game from where I left off. This time, it seemed too real. I could hear the screams of Abby, and the next morning, comments throwing me off. I had even more messages, everything saying, "You're next, love you." They were all from Abby's dead 666 cliche name here. To this day, I don't care to buy another game from the PSN network. When he said that he deleted the game and the save files from the game and I just forgot about it, what game was he talking about? The Dream Emulator, quote unquote, or his favorite game? Because don't you think you'd remember deleting your favorite game? With the cliche creepypasta name, with adding 666 into the name, it's just cliche. You don't have to add 666 into every fucking creepypasta. But PSN hell, it's a terrible story with some spelling errors, and it's not really that great. Okay, now let's get into Journey to Death, which is based on the game Journey. Surprising, since it's the gameplay I am actually showing, right? And if you don't know, Journey is a game where you are this being on a journey to a place. And I never really understood the game, the story of the game, but this is a little bit of a longer creepypasta, so I'm going to try and get through it as fast as possible. Hello, I am someone with a story to tell, nothing more. Clearly, since you are on the Creepypasta wiki, there's no other reason to be here unless you're reading a shitty story. Moving on. It all started about 4 months ago. I can't believe I'm even telling the story after it's been so long. Perhaps it's just because I wanted to repress it, or make some futile attempt at trying to convince myself did not happen. In any case, it all started 4 months ago. I was visiting a friend who had a copy of this amazing game called Journey. For those of you who don't know, it's a game where you play as a person in a red robe and journey throughout this vast, beautiful world, trying to reach this mountain. And along the way, these people on white robes tell you a little about their history and the reason why your character is journeying. Now, after seeing this amazing game, I knew that I just had to have a copy. But my friend told me it was only a download from the PSN store, which was probably the guy from the other story, and he was too afraid to go in the store and actually buy another one, fear from getting Abby's dead.666 to message him again. Oh no! Depressed, I decided to go home, and then go to my local GameStop to find a PlayStation Network gift card and buy Journey using that. Apparently he repressed his memories of all the bad stuff that happened to him in PSN hell. I'm gonna name this guy Melissa. The day finally came and I walked into the GameStop store. I went over to the rack where the gift cards are and selected a $20 bill PSN gift card. While I was walking to the counter, however, I spotted something that today I wish I never saw in the first place. It was a box containing a download code for Journey. Almost instantly, I put the card back and grabbed the only box that was left and proceeded to the checkout. It seemed to be over $7, and I swaggered to the counter and purchased the code. I rushed back to my house to reveal the code, and then went to the PlayStation Store and used the code. He's gonna go through every freaking step of the process, isn't he? He's gonna go through he is going through the downloading page. I'm just gonna skip that part. I am gonna have the link in the description anyway, so you can read this for yourself. The download was quick and it only lasted a few minutes. I was at a little title screen ready to begin my journey. Now the game started normally with the opening cutscene, and as I gained control of my character, I started to familiarize, sorry I can't talk today, myself with the controls, which there are only really 3, actually 4, really. It's not that hard. I beat it today in like an hour and 15 minutes for this video. I was turning the camera around when I saw and passed a black figure, and when I looked back, the figure was gone. Based on what I saw at a friend's house, the game played normally, except I would catch glimpses of the black figure, which disappeared after I investigated the area where I thought I saw it. The black figure continued to stalk me throughout the game. The creepy part was that it did not do that calling thing that you hear from other players. You know, that noise that everyone keeps on pressing the button for because it's such a cute noise, and like you can't get enough of just pressing it. I mean, like, I just pressed it like for 10 minutes straight, and I just liked it. I made my own little song about it because it's fun. Aside from the black figure, the game played normally. I say this based on what I saw when my friend played the game. Now, let me say this really quick because I'm not going to continue the story until I finish this. I almost thought when I was recording the game today that the creepypasta was real, because at one point in the game, if you look down a corridor, which I'm going to put the image on the screen right now, you will see a black figure down the corridor. And no, it's not another player because you can't go that far down the corridor. After a few hours of playing, I finally got to the mountain area. By the way, I beat this in 1 hour and 20 minutes, or 15, so it shouldn't take you a few hours! It was beautiful. Yes, it was. I actually do agree. And my favorite part of the game by far. I was enjoying myself so much I didn't even notice the black figure. I finally got to the mountain and entered the white. What I saw next haunts me to this very day. I added very because it sounded better. The black figures finally approached my character, and they looked exactly like my character except they had a black robe. The figure began shaking its head, however my character seemed to brush it off and continue on. My character continued till it fell, then the screen cut to black. Then the character saw the white robe people and they stared at my character. Then the screen went into third person view and showed my character tied down to a table. Ooh, this is taking a dark turn. The people in white robes then turned around, and when they turned around, one had a dagger in their hand. A text box appeared saying, "You have come. Good. Now you are our sacrifice. Our source of power will be restored once more. Thank you, little one. Thank you." Then the person in the white robe with the dagger came slowly towards my character. My character struggled to get free from its bindings, but it was all in vain. The dagger was plunged into my character, and the light left from his eyes. Then something odd happened. The black figure started to ascend from my character's corpse. This figure made me shudder when I saw it. It looked identical to the black figure that stalked me throughout the game. And then I realized just what the black figure was trying to accomplish. It was trying to save my character. I turned off the game after the start screen appeared, and I deleted the game from my PS3 and the save data. And I never touched it again. Despite the fact that I got rid of the game from my PS3, I continue to have the nightmares about the game, and even went to a couple of therapy sessions, bullshit, and tried to talk about it. So that is my story. There are times when I wonder, though, if I had continued, would my last character follow me around as a black figure, and if so, how was the black figure made in the first place? I tried to do a little research for the stories of similar experiences with the game Journey, but with no such luck. Then checked the GameStop about the matter, but when I told them about the game, they said they had been out of stock of codes for the game Journey for over a week. That is the story of Journey to Death. I actually gotta say, this one's a little bit better. This was actually a pretty good story. Going to the end of your journey only to be killed for the source of power for these white beings. I'd actually not think of that. That would be a good end to this beautiful game that I spent 1 hour and 15 minutes beating, not hours! All in all, that's one good creepypasta story, at least in my view, and one horrible, not horrible, but bad creepypasta story, PSN Hell. It's not really hell, it wasn't even about PlayStation Network. I mean, it was more about the 2 games that you bought. I mean, could have made it PSN Stalker Hell, or Haunted Hell, or I'm a dumbass who's on the creepypasta wiki and I'm writing the shitty story Hell. Or Ben. I always try to look for new stories that people haven't looked at or read much. The stories that are overlooked, and I always try to bring them up a little bit. And don't worry, this week, 1 or 2 more stories. And either there'll be stories or there'll be something creepy about games in general. I'm Demon, and thank you for coming to my domain. And I'll see you guys next time for Creepy October.